La Resortera.
Okay, action. Woohoo! We're here for another week at Pura Vida Perspectives podcast. We have a special guest for you today. Well, there's me, Sarah Elena. Maybe you've seen some other episodes before. I work with people in relocation here in Costa Rica. We have Jairo, who works with car rentals with his company, Costa Rica Car Rentals in USA. And we have a special guest today, Layne Balke. So Layne has written a book. So today's episode, though, I really was interested in Layne's expat story. He's raised kids here. He's up in the Guanacaste area, so we don't have a lot of guests that have come from Guanacaste. So I love to be able to also have people. We don't live in Guanacaste. I've traveled there, so
I'd love to.
Yeah, I know you love Playa Penca. It's your favorite. But I'd love to just get his experience on what it's like living up there. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this.
Put it on the table.
Okay. Just hear his experience of. I'm just excited for you guys to hear an expat story. A lot of people like to hear that. How long have you been here in the country, Layne? And then we're going to talk about your book in the next episode. But we will touch on the book a little bit now. But we have the title of the book here. You can find it on Amazon. It's called Get Me to Costa Rica, a 1-year plan to leave the rat race. So if you want to find it, it's on Amazon. You can get it on Kindle. Yes. I saw, and we're going to kind of go more into the book and what inspired you and what's in the book in the next episode. But
now you can download it to your phone. You don't need a Kindle or anything else. You can download it to any of your devices.
Perfect.
All right.
So it's 99 cents right now.
And I'll definitely get it.
Yeah.
Because he said, if you can't afford 99 cents, then we're in trouble.
You shouldn't be coming.
No.
Exactly.
You shouldn't be moving.
Layne, so tell us, how long ago did you came to Costa Rica?
We moved here June the 17th of 2015.
2000. Where from?
From Dallas, Texas. Fort Worth, actually.
That was my year when I moved.
Yes.
Yeah, June 7th. Oh, no, sorry, June 7th. September 7th.
So we haven't been here but this much longer than you have. No, that's great.
Okay, and what made you choose Costa Rica? Before moving, did you come here first?
No.
Not even as a tourist or visitor or anything like that.
I believed for many, many, many years that someday I was going to live somewhere tropical, somewhere closer to the beach. And I started that when I was very, very young, but never happened in Dallas. So 54 years in Dallas hadn't happened, probably wasn't going to happen. But I studied about everything. I've been all over the Caribbean. I've been fortunate to travel a lot, but just never lived anywhere else. And 1 year, I had 4 businesses and 4 kids, and I was running from can to cane.
Crazy.
And in 1 year, I had 10 clients from 2 different businesses that all came to Costa Rica, and 10 out of 10 of them came back and said, if we could, we'd sell everything and move.
Wow.
And I'm like, if you don't quit telling me that, I'm crazy enough to do it. And then I ran into a buddy of mine about a month and a half after the 10th one at a skeet shoot in Fort Worth. And I said, Scott, where have you been? And he said, I hired a business partner, and he ran off with all my money. So I was doing mission work down in Costa Rica. So I moved down there for 2 years. And a month and a half after Scott and I talked, Scott told me, you want to live in Flamingo. It's where the international school is. And so if I had school for my kids, I could handle anything. So a month and a half later, I was fighting Dallas traffic. And I said, the end.
And you came straight to Flamingo?
I walked in and told my wife, that was it.
Oh.
She waited a week. And she said, were you serious? And I said, yeah, we're moving June the 10th. And that was the day the kids got out of school. And we got here June the 17th. So, yeah, I was 100% serious.
How old were the kids?
7 and 8.
Wow.
How they took it?
Well, they were both fluent in Spanish because my wife is from Argentina. So I'd moved her to Texas, and she had finally got fully established. She had no intentions of moving anywhere. We never talked about moving. We didn't plan on moving. I walked in and said, I'm done. She's like, well, if you're serious. And so we went online and we found a house in Altos in Flamingo. And so we flew down. We did one exploratory trip with the idea of looking at real estate and checking out the schools. We saw the schools, never saw a piece of real estate, flew home, sold everything, and moved here.
Nice.
Wow. Sounds like you were burnt out. Like, or what was a lot of your motivation for wanting to move?
Well, I'd spent 54 years in Dallas, and I was running 12 hours a day, 6 days a week.
Yeah.
And I had accumulated enough that I didn't have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said,
Done.
done. The end.
That is amazing. How people from the States, Canada, Europe, so many places, not even being in Costa Rica, but they just hear from a friend, hey, you gotta go there. Hey, you gotta go there. Hey, you gotta go there. And
Yep.
once you were here, was it what your friends told you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've been here 10 years. We will move in another year somewhere out of Flamingo.
Mm-hmm.
But just to experience something else, we're there because the school, my son is a senior this year. My daughter is in Valencia, Spain.
Yeah.
She starts university.
She graduated
next
already.
week.
She's
Yeah,
out.
she just graduated in May, and she starts university next week in Spain.
Okay, and let me ask you, when you move here, did you had a plan of what you were gonna do for business?
Well, I have a hunting business in Argentina. So I met my wife in Argentina in 2001. I married the translator. Hadn't helped my Spanish any, but it's okay. I had a choice: learn the language or marry the translator. And I chose to marry the translator.
That
To
was a
this
smart
day, I think it
decision.
was a good choice.
Yeah, it was.
I
So
love that.
I've only sent 5,700 hunters to Argentina hunting
Wow.
in 24 years.
So then when you came to Costa Rica, you obviously had savings. You said, you'd been working really hard. Did you begin any businesses here? What have the last, 10 years been like for you here in the country? And I imagine you've also seen the country change as I have.
We have seen the country change. It's grown a lot in the Flamingo area because now we have a new
La
marina.
Marina.
Yeah.
It was not there 10 years ago.
There was a marina there originally,
Well,
and eventually it fell apart. And so it took another 10 to 15 years to negotiate the deal to finally rebuild a new, and it's beautiful.
It's
It's
gorgeous.
first class.
Yep.
It's really, they hit the mark.
Yeah.
No question about it. But for us, we've really enjoyed it. The kids feel so free, having grown up in another environment. And they're U.S. citizens. They're also Argentine citizens. And then they're permanent residents of Costa Rica. So they think they're international.
they are.
So they're like, Dad, we can go anywhere. I have a 31-year-old daughter who did a semester in Spain. And so she's always told her younger brother and sister, think about Europe. It's totally different than going to a U.S. university. And so my kids were convinced that they wanted to go to Europe. So my daughter found her school. She did all the research. She applied. She got accepted. So, and she's going to the European Sports Business School.
Nice.
So it's all about the business of sports.
Wow.
So it's something we think sports might be around for a little while.
Oh,
We
yeah.
hope. And I can think of worse industries to have my kids involved in than sports.
True. And so I do work with a lot of families who have kids. So a lot of them, of course, do wonder if schools is a huge thing. So it's not the only determining factor as to why someone might settle in an area, but it's up there. I mean, it's obviously it's the areas that they're going to look at have to be the areas that they're finding the right kind of schools they're looking for. And a lot of times I will get questions about continuing education. Or, okay, if I'm moving my 10-year-old here, what happens in 8 years? What kind of opportunities are they going to have? So with your experience in Guanacaste, how did you feel the schools set them up for, opportunities
Well,
in
we
adulthood?
now have 4 international schools, but Korea is one of them, and it's U.S. accredited. Down the street, we have La Paz, which is BIA accredited.
Mhm.
So it really didn't matter. My kids, the opportunity to go to university in Europe, the schools here do very, very well with acceptance on colleges, both in the U.S. and abroad. So for us, it was perfect.
Yeah, I find Guanacaste to have those schools and then in and outside of San Jose. But Central Pacific, kind of lacking that so far, as of now.
Well, that's a good business idea for someone who can.
They're trying.
Yeah.
Someone's trying down there.
Oh, they have to. But I mean, it's good that you share your perspective regarding schooling, so people that see us and live here or are planning to move here can have an idea of what to expect when we talk about education.
Yeah, and the
In
schools
Costa
here
Rica.
are not overly expensive. I mean, for private school, it's less than a private school would be in the U.S. So, and it's very good education. We were on the U.S. curriculum. My son's a senior this year, but it's the U.S. curriculum, the U.S. schedule. So it's very good.
Okay, so going back to when you moved to Costa Rica, what was kind of the first thing you started doing, or your wife? Did she began working? What happened? Tell us a little bit of.
Yeah, like what residency categories you guys file. I have so many questions.
Yeah,
Like
go
I want to
ahead.
know about residency. I want to know.
Well, we filed as renters because we didn't know if we were going to buy anything.
Mm-hmm.
We were 100% convinced that we were going to wait a year before we bought anything. And 2.5 months later, we found the house that we'd originally looked at online, never had physically seen it. And we finally got to see it and we bought it. So 9 months after we made the initial trip, we bought the house, our first house we found when we searched online in Flamingo, Costa Rica. So we live in that house today.
Did you choose the house or the house choose you?
I don't know, but it's the house. We had to do a major remodel on it before we moved into
Right.
it. So we did 3.5 months, which coincided with the end of our original 6-month lease. So it was perfect timing. I bought the house to flip it, but every time I looked around as to where I'd rather be, it's so well located. You know, we're 10 minutes from school. We're 10 minutes from the sailing center. We're 10 minutes from 9 of the prettiest beaches. So Pinka being one of them.
Amazing.
So Flamingo Beach, which is very nice. You just have to be a little careful of the waves sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we had the most restaurants, bars, you know.
Everything.
Yeah.
You mentioned perhaps trying out a different area. Would you then sell that house and go to another area? You're going to rent that out.
We'd
and
probably
kind of
rent it. My
explore?
wife is a full-time realtor.
Okay.
And so she has also property management on the side. My son is working on starting a property management company. So my wife's in the process of partnering with another gentleman in her property management business. So we would most likely rent it because it's in a great location. It's good for either people with school, you know, with school-age kids or people that work in the area, and it's close to the beach.
Let me know when you have it. When you have it for rent, let us know because we
All
always
right.
have clients. We do the long-term rental search for our clients, so
You
that
don't
would
have
be
to
a
go that
perfect-
far to find a client.
no, but not for vacation. I want long-term rentals.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Are you gonna go live there?
Hey, it's a plan. You know, I
Oh,
love
true.
that area.
Yeah,
so,
mentioned
I don't
it.
know. It takes me almost 10 minutes to get to Pinka.
so that's what I'm saying.
We're 4 minutes from the marina.
I'll ride my bike. I used to when,
True, you did mention maybe.
yeah. So I used to own a boat in Potrero
Really?
for fishing, sunsets,
Okay.
and snorkeling. So I used to do tours,
Mhm.
fishing tours. So I already live out there for about 6 to 8 months. That's when I fell in love with the area.
Okay. What was the name of your boat?
Joy Toy.
Joy Toy. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So then we were at a fishing trip, and a customer was like, "Wow, this is a really nice boat." When I was a young kid, my dad had one similar to this one, Grady White, and he was like, "Will you sell it?" And I thought he was joking. And then we kept doing the fishing trip. Then he goes like, "If you sell it, I'll buy it. Give me a price." And I gave him a high price. He didn't even like hesitate. He was like, "I'll buy it."
So is it still in the area?
As far as I know, it's now in Samara,
Okay.
somewhere in Samara.
Wow, what a wonderful story.
Yeah.
I know a lot of the boats in the area. That's why I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
recently, so-
Joy Toy, it's been out of that area for about 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, I'd love to know. So obviously, like we talk about all the beautiful things of being in Costa Rica, but it does have its challenges. I'm
Sure.
never one to sugarcoat things for anybody. So what were maybe some of your challenges? So I also moved here without visiting the country. Like I had a language barrier. You know, I got to kind of figure. Whenever you move that quickly, you are just kind of diving in and figuring it out. So maybe I know it's kind of hard to remember. Sometimes I have to like really think back to mine because it's been 10 years now. What would you say were some of your guys' major challenges, if any,
Well,
that you faced?
I'll tell you, some of the best advice I ever got was on the plane flying here. And a young lady sat down and she said, "My name's Courtney, and I've been in Costa Rica for 5 years." She said, best advice I can give you is forget everything you've ever known because nothing here works that way.
Yeah.
And I truly believed that was probably the best advice. But we miss things like shopping. When we moved here, the Walmart and the Price Mart were in San Jose.
Yeah,
Now
not
they're
even in
Liberia.
Liberia.
Yeah,
Right.
so now they're in Liberia. So, we're an hour away, but we can handle that. We have everything that we really need.
Right now.
We gave up a lot of stuff, a lot of junk. We lightened our load tremendously. And we've accumulated back a little bit of it, but not as much as we had when we were in the States. And we're not sad about that. The kids have felt a lot freer. We're not trying to keep up with the Jones. The downside is we're not quite as convenient. We don't have every convenience that you could possibly have at our fingertips.
Mhm.
But we have beaches, we have sunsets, we have birds, we have monkeys, we have turtles, whales.
Something we have spoke here a lot in our podcast, the neighbors, the Costa Rican people that you get to hang out with. How easy it was for you to make friends?
My language barrier is a little bit of a barrier, but overall, most people here speak enough English that you can get by. And if you try, they're very willing to work with you. But we love the people here. Feel very fortunate to be here. And that's why if we move, it'll only be a lateral move. It'll only be somewhere else in the country. We're not planning on going anywhere other than we will spend a little more time in Argentina with Georgina's family.
Have you thought about where else you're potentially thinking of? Have you got your eye on anywhere in particular?
No, it'll either be in Uvita, up in the
okay.
mountains,
Okay.
or it'll be in the Central Valley near Gracia, or
I'm a big fan of Evita. Everyone
Yeah.
knows I used to live down there. Love it down there.
You like the southern area.
Mm-hmm.
I've been down there 5 times, and it looks like we're going to have a lot of work. We also do steel frame housing here. So
okay.
all of the steel that we put in homes and everything we put in homes is imported from Turkey.
Okay.
And so it's the very best quality. And I don't build. Okay. I'm just in the sales business of marketing the materials. My next door neighbor moved in from Turkey. And as I got to know him, I said, "What do you do?" And he said, I'm an importer, and I'm bringing in steel for building homes. And so we're building projects all over the area, but all over the country. But it's the best quality. We're using 100-year steel. We have a 50-year warranty on the roof, which is insulated. And so not only is it dead quiet, but it doesn't leak.
Wow. Well, man, I want some information on that. All right. So it sounds like maybe you got your hands in a few different pots. What occupies your time on a weekly basis? Like, what does a normal week look for you? What businesses have you done or work things have you done here, including your wife? Like, what have you guys kind of been up to generally this last?
Well, my wife teaches a boot camp Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8:05 right in front of the school. And that's her long-term project. She's been doing that for 8.5 years.
I love that.
Like an exercise boot camp?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Absolutely. And then we opened a gym in the middle of COVID, 50
Oh.
yards from where she does her boot camp. So we're partial owners in a gym right in front of school also. And then, like I said, the steel frame business came up, the hunting business in Argentina. Other than that, we don't do anything.
That's good. I mean, that's what you came here to do. It's not always like, oh, what are you doing or what do you do? It's I'd like to know too, because sometimes when I'm working with people, I work with people that are maybe getting towards retirement or aren't quite near there, but they don't want to be in that rat race, like you said, leaving
Right.
the rat race. So they don't want to be doing nothing. That you're not going to move to Costa Rica and sit and drink pina coladas on the beach all day. So you got to occupy your time in some way, whether it's with hobbies or maybe I call it optionally working. So like things that you could optionally do if you want to. So I like for other people to hear, what others are doing or how are they occupying their time or organizing their time. Because I think it's an important topic. I think if someone moves here and you don't organize your time or think of that ahead of time, you can run into that. You can run into problems for sure.
Well, 2 years writing a book and getting it finished and out the door, that's been the biggest challenge the last 2.5 months, because I finished it before my 10th year anniversary on June the 17th. But getting it out the door has been more challenging than I ever dreamed of. So it takes a lot of editing, a lot of time. And now we're working on just getting it out there, letting people know about it.
Well, that's why we're excited to have you here so we can tell people about it for sure.
Well, I'm excited to be here, and I thank you very much.
Well, we really want to thank you for taking the time to come out here because for people who don't know, just the drive from here to Flamingo, it could be between 4 and 5 hours.
Maybe more now.
Well, with the repairs and everything, it depends. I got a quick story. One time while I was living in Potrero, I didn't have a car. I had my boat business, and I used to move around in my bike to sell the fishing trips and everything. Bike was my method of transportation. An uncle lent me his car to go do some shopping, the fishing gear and everything. So I came back to San Jose to drop off the car. I drop off the car and I jump on the bus to go from San Jose to Flamingo, and then to Flamingo to Potrero. I'll have to get a ride. Oh my God. It took 7.5 hours in bus to get from San Jose to Flamingo. I started crying.
I would too.
When the bus took a ride to Cartagena, I was like, "Where are you going? What's going on?" And somebody says the bus first goes all the way to Cartagena, which is 45 minutes in, 45 minutes out, and then to Flamingo, the last stop. When the bus made that ride, that's when I started crying. I was like,
and they're picking up everyone and their grandma on that bus. It was one of those that's stopping for
Right.
everyone who's along the
every
side of the
city,
road.
Liberia,
Okay.
Philadelphia, before that, Cañas.
Yeah.
It was 7.5 hours in the
Oh.
bus. So for people that comes to Costa Rica and they thinking I'm gonna move from city to city in a bus,
No, I did that plenty of times, but I lived here and I had plenty of
Car
time.
Rentals Costa Rica and USA. Make sure you book a car
Yes.
if you are moving around Costa Rica. In his case today, I started this little story because I wanted to thank you. You flew today
Yes. Today. I flew
from Liberia?
from Tamarindo.
From Tamarindo.
We calculated that it took us both of us took about the same amount of time to get
To
here.
get
Me
here.
from Hermosa driving, him from there, roughly around the same amount of time.
Yeah,
Travel
so
time.
you flew from Tamarindo to San Jose, Uber here, then you going back and flying back to Tamarindo and home.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's going back home today.
Yeah,
His
that's
flight
what I'm
leaves
saying.
at 2. Isn't that crazy?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I want to
That's so
mention.
cool.
It's amazing. And it was a beautiful morning today.
No, it was a good flight. Yes, very, very nice.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So we
we
do
like
appreciate you coming all the way out here.
100%.
And we're very excited
And your
about
story,
book.
I mean, there's hundreds of people. I actually did a little research. Costa Rica has about 800,000 people living in here that are not Costa Ricans, that move from different parts of the world.
Mm, really?
Yep, about 800,000 people
Where do you get that numbers from?
are from this little research that I did.
You did whose research? Where did the research come from?
What do you mean?
You did the research.
Yeah, because I'll tell you more about it. But I did the research for people in the the Central America countries, and Costa Rica was already top one
Uh-huh.
with about 800,000 people living from different places of the world into Costa Rica.
Did ChatGPT tell you this?
No,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, there's
no, it was not Sheila.
there's about 120,000 Americans, but there's 500,000 from other countries.
That's what I'm saying.
And we were debating the other night.
Nicaragua.
It's a big number. No. Well, I'm not sure if that mentioned Nicaraguan people, but I was trying to do a research from people like that are actually
That just sounds like a really high number to me.
It's the number that he gave me, 800,000 people from other countries, like kind of expatting here in Costa Rica.
I know it's more than 500,000, so I know it's up there.
That's crazy. Wow,
Yeah.
man. Well, I mean, that's why it's a hot topic. And a lot of people are wanting to get out of their day-to-day lives. They're unhappy. So I'm excited about next episode. We're going to kind of talk about your book. I want to hear about, well, I guess I imagine some of your own experience shaped your motivations to writing this book.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I believed for many years that someday I was going to make the break. And one day it came.
On the next episode, I want you to start with explaining the name of the book. I want you to plan to leave the rat race.
Yeah. I saw the rat race and I was like, I'm not entering that. I'm out. I left when I was 23. I was like, I'm not going to get sucked into that. I'm out of here.
Well, I want you to
I think
explain it
that's a smart
because
move.
I'm not quite sure if I understand the
what a rat race is.
Right.
That's a common term. We can explain it.
Yeah, we'll
in the next
we'll get
episode.
into it in the
That's
next
good.
episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
All right.
Layne, thank
Well,
you
thank
very
you.
much for being here. Sarah,
Thank you.
thank you for coming out too.
All right. We'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching.
Pura vida.
Esto fue una producción de La Resortera.